What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of SupFM, your favorite streetwear podcast. I'm here with my guys, Lawrence DeLoach.
You.
And I got Chris Cheney with me as well.
You.
Happy Air Max Day, everybody.
Air Max Day. What a day it was for only you.
It was a good day for me. We'll go into that a little bit later. Lawrence, how you doing today?
I'm all right, man. I'm happy to be here with my guys, and I was kind of MIA last week, so it's good to be back, man.
Glad to have you back, buddy. Luke, how are you, bro?
I'm just winning, bro. That's all. Just feeling a real winner's attitude, you know?
I can see it on your fucking face. Your dumb winning face is so happy right now.
What about you, Chris? What are you up to?
I'm great, man. You know, just on the work side of things, now that I can kind of speak on some things that I know are happening. You know, early April, I think I mentioned it before, but we got a Timberland thing coming out that I know I've shown you guys this campaign image. I don't know exactly where it's going to go, but you might see my face a lot depending on what this happens with this drop with Timberland, but look out for that. And, you know, other than that, man, we're like closing out spring 22. And I'm excited to show you guys that when I can. But other than that, man, I'm great.
Yeah, you just had a bunch of samples, right? It was like some sample cleaning out.
We cleaned out the office and basically, like, I mean, these guys have been doing this brand for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care about keeping stuff. They don't care. Like, they're like, dude, get it out. But I'm like, yo, all my friends I know would love this shit. So, like, you know, all three of you guys, including Meany, have a bag at my house from whenever you're ready to get it or whenever we meet up. I got some swag, dog.
Yes. Very nice.
Yeah. Luke's Asian sizing, though. He makes out like a bandit.
All right, listen. Let's talk, guys, because there's a lot of things that we got to get into, man.
Mm-hmm.
Luke said, we had Air Max Day. This is, I think, the seventh Air Max Day? Seventh.
It's 6 or 7, yeah.
This is the seventh. 2014 was the first one, and now we're at 21. It just seems like it is getting to the point where everyone just expects their L's. And we're, like I said, guys, there was the Bacons, there was the CLOTs, there was the Evolutions. Yep. And Luke, you, my friend, were able to hit on a pair of Bacons.
That's right.
That is correct. now, Luke, is this for the toe or is this to flip or what are we doing here?
When Lawrence found out that I won the Bacons, he came to me and said, congratulations, with the most heart I've ever felt. Like I felt it through the phone. Like he was texting me.
Yeah.
He's like, congratulations, bro. Is this your first Air Max? And I'm like, yeah, it is my first Air Max Day win. I guess I should keep these. So he kind of convinced me to keep them. Originally, I was going to get them. I was going to trade them with Isaiah. So I was like, this was my way of being like, okay, I'll win a pair. You know, I'll trade them off to him. I'll make a profit off of like Fire Red 5s. And then, you know, I'll call it a day. It's like a half profit.
Wait, so you were going to trade him the Bacons for Fire Red 5s?
Yes, and then I was going to sell the Fire Red 5s.
But there's no real money in Fire Red 5s, if I'm correct. I have a pair, yeah.
Right, it's like $230.
Uh-huh.
The Bacons were like $160, right? So I would make out with like $70. My friend would get the shoe that he wants for retail. I think it would be a fair compromise.
Okay.
You know, but
I see what happened.
Isaiah also won a pair. So now I just got a pair of, you know, Air Maxes that fit me, and it doesn't make sense to not keep them at this point.
So for the listeners out there, when he's referencing Isaiah is Isaiah Lorenzo, one of our former guests. He's also he's a guy who loves Air Maxes. He was luckily able to get a pair as well. I want to know, guys, what are your thoughts on like the grand scheme of Air Max Day? Because obviously last year there was no celebration. This year everything was done virtually. I kind of tuned in a little bit, but I wasn't, it's a lot of it is obviously it's for show. Did you like look at any of the festivities online?
No, I'll be honest. I think they're going to put a back seat to Air Max Day until like maybe the 10th anniversary or something, just because I feel like they can't get the timing right on this shit. Like, so, you know, last year was a shit show. This year they did a much better job. But I still think it's a little stagnant because even like in the beginning of the month, we were like, what's up with Air Max Day? When years prior, Air Max Day was being, you know, shown to us like mid-February, I feel like. So especially with things like the Dunks sort of taking a priority as far as the sell through. Not that Air Maxes aren't going to sell through, but I mean, like they just have other silhouettes that are doing stronger. So to have a holiday on it, like they're like maybe like their 5th best selling silhouette or model style, whatever. It seems like maybe just wait till they get an anniversary number back.
Well, I think what they need to do is, I think the problem is all their main selling points for every Air Max Day is super limited. And until they can start Jordan 11, you know, the Black Friday Jordan release of a sneaker, those type of numbers, we're gonna have this issue where people are just kind of like, okay, here's another unobtainable sneaker that you're promoting the fuck out of for Air Max Day, and it's a problem. We saw it in 2018 with the Shawns. We saw it, in 2016 there was Safaris, and then we had like the Air Max. We had the Atmos, the Jewel Blue pairs. We see this every year with them, and it's almost like it's laughable. And when I say it's laughable, it's because every year it's the same song and dance. They hype up Air Max Day. They used to have these big events where you can go, purchase sneakers, and it was still just limited. It until they can mass produce a shoe that the people want, like a Jordan, like I said, like a Jordan 11. I'm not saying 500,000 pairs, but there needs to be more than what are out there.
Well, I also think, just going back to the timing thing, like they announced there's just a rumor about a Travis Scott Air Max, right? So like for the holiday, we get a rumor. Like that's not like, they did it right with the Bacons, where like, on the 26th, we got, and Luke and May get a pair, like people were hitting. So I guess there was enough to go around, at least like in some circles. But like, then you also announce a shoe that we would have really wanted that day. You know what I mean? Like, seems a little like, if they fucked up on that end to me.
Yeah.
I won't say they fucked up, because this is like prime Nike marketing. And it's a Travis Scott shoe. So remember, I don't think they're just going to shock drop a Travis Scott Air Max on Air Max Day. That's not how shit works. It's the tease. It's the on foot. It's the, oh my God, we're building up so much steam with Travis Scott. But they are trying, and we've seen this where I don't know if you guys noticed, but if I'm correct, it's the Evolution, the Air Max 1 Evolution, where they had the sneakers event, and if you were watching the event, they started selling pairs during the event, so you can purchase them. But obviously, once again, you would think that if I'm watching and I'm able to try to purchase them, I would get through, and they still made those super limited. So yeah, it's just the bullshit that Nike puts people through. Honestly, before we kind of switch gears, what are your thoughts on the tease of the Travis Scott Air Max 1s?
When I heard that there was a Travis Scott Air Max 1, I'm like, these dudes are listening to me. No, I mean, of course, it's like when I heard it, I was like, yeah, okay, great, wonderful. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it and see what I think about it. It'll probably be great. It'll be fine. I don't know.
The mock-ups I saw were like very like, okay. But then again, like, I try not to invest in these mock-ups. I still don't understand this mock-up culture. I get like imagining a shoe, but like imagining a shoe and then pretending it's the real thing and then talking about what that shoe would resell for. I'm like, you guys are out of your mind. But
you're talking about when it goes like all into that craziness.
Yeah, they like Photoshop a sneaker, which like, okay, that's fun. I started designing in general because I like that shit. It's fun to imagine that shit, right? But then below, they're like, what do you think the resale will be when they don't even have a retail? It's like, what are you guys talking about?
We have an idea of a shoe, not even.
Yeah, your imagination is like within its own imagination. Like they're incepting themselves with this weird mock-up shit, but whatever. I mean, if it looks anything like that mock-up with the reverse swoosh on the Air Max, like cool, on brand for his story and what they're doing with him on a collaborative effort, like dope. But I mean, like, what do you think?
Like I said, I just don't. Here's the thing, I don't want Trav to fucking hype up Air Max 1s now and have, because Air Max 1s to me is probably my favorite model of Air Max, and like now it's like, oh, now we're gonna bring the hype beast to fucking Air Max 1s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I don't want.
But get him off the Dunks.
I don't know, man.
Would you trade the Air Maxes for Dunks?
Of course I would, but I also feel like we're not going to get these crazy resales on Air Max 1s that we will a Dunk. But Dunks are already in the sky. Travis is at the landing strip, and he's about the takeoff area, and it's like, all right, here we go. So that I'm not sure about. But at the end of the day, it's another super limited sneaker. I actually deleted the sneakers app, and I'll be honest, I took it off my phone after the CLOTs, because I really like the CLOTs. And a funny story about the CLOTs. Let's get into this. So I saw this morning that Concepts was releasing them, and on their Instagram they had an amazing, like, they were like, we have bot control. So I was super excited. I was like, all right, Lawrence, I said, let's fucking win on Concepts. You've won on Concepts before, and I don't know if this is public school education at its finest, or maybe me not paying attention to Asian culture. But the question on Concepts was, CLOT founder Edison Chen, or whatever, what's his ethnicity, right? And my dumb ass wrote China, Asian, Hong Kong, Canadian. Yo, I said, yo, I swear to God, I was like, I kept typing in China. I was like, fuck you, concepts for this bullshit. And
Luke's face.
by minute 8, I was like, yo, he's Chinese. Put in Chinese, and I put in Chinese, and then it got me through. But by the time that happened, it was sold out. So that is on my dumb ass, my public school education, not paying attention.
No, Lawrence, it's my fault. It's my fault. I didn't educate you enough on Asian culture. Oh my God.
Dude, I was like his ethnicity. I'm like, dude, he's China. He's fucking Asian. He's fucking Asian. Give me, he's fucking Asian.
With that pressure, with a similar pressure and haste, I've fucked up so many things, dude. I totally feel you on that. I just, in that situation, I sort of imagine it's like someone behind me going like, Chris, we got to get this to print. Send this shit off. I'm like typing shit or whatever. Shit doesn't even make any sense. And then I get the final back and there's like so many misspellings and shit just because
I like my questions to be very simple. Like, what color is an orange? Like, that's what I want. You know what I mean? Like, don't hit me with now. What ethnicity is this man? I mean, dude, to me, I thought he was Asian. I thought that was an ethnicity. I fucked up. And so I take the loss on that one. And let's real quick before we get off Air Max 8, because like I said, I think it's getting to the point where it's so bastardized that no one's really enjoying this. Do you guys have a favorite Air Max Day shoe?
probably the first dated one. You have those, I think.
I do have those, but they're so fucked up that I don't know if I still have them. I might have given them to someone.
Air Max Day specific sneaker. I like that one because it's the purest of the execution. It's literally just, you know how I feel about shit. I like when you get the object and it's commemoratory in that way. So like to give you the red one, the one that everyone thinks of, and then just with the date on it, neon pop, nice. I like that.
Yeah, I wish I took better care of those. They were my daily beaters, man. I fucking love those shits, man.
Yeah. Luke, what about you?
Bacons, because I own them.
You know what? Actually, so before we go away from the bacon, because Lawrence, yours was saying is the dated one too?
I would say the Sean. I love the Seans. They were so beautiful and well done, and I like those.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a high one. Actually, everyone that we've sort of mentioned by year has been like real humdingers, if you ask me. But going back to Luke, you for a second. So you can't, when you wear these, you can't not wear them unless you wear the bacon shoelaces with them. And it's not a complete fit unless you get the bacon scented shoelaces that Oscar Mayer Wiener is putting out.
I mean, excellent plug. You can use our code SupFM and get a 20% discount on Oscar Mayer's bacon. Oscar Mayer's streetwear fresh. That's where an ad would go.
If we had them. Yep, that's just actual bacon.
Good job, Meany.
That's just real bacon that he pulled up, not the laces.
Hold on. You're in trouble. I got you. Listen, buddy. Listen. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that shit was so funny. But yeah, so.
No, thank you, Meany.
Now, I am a little scared that there's an April 1st date on this. So I don't know if these are going to be real or not.
I mean, they're not real. Dude,
you don't know that.
Okay, that's true.
I hope so. That's beautiful, man. It's great marketing on all ends, from Oscar Mayer, Nike. It's just Kevin Bacon. It's an awesome marketing tool that I think it's so understated with this. Air Max Day is the fucking awesome, ultimate marketing tool.
Did you fall for the Kevin Bacon Photoshop too?
Oh, I probably did. Yeah, I definitely did. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck Chris. Chris was like, oh yeah, that's it's obviously a Photoshop. I was like, look.
It's
legit.
Clearly a Photoshop.
It looked legit to me.
All right, guys. Let's look forward to next Air Max Day. What else we got going on, guys, this week?
Well, first off, before we keep going, let's do some plugs real quick. All right.
Oh, that's true. And then after, I got a direction we can go. But you can follow me on all socials at Not That Cheney, CHENEY. Bless you, Lawrence. He sneezed.
Lawrence, where can they find you?
LZD 325 everywhere. Holla at me.
325, as we know.
Your birthday.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do anything fun for your birthday?
Nothing I want to talk about on there.
Hell yeah, dude.
Bunch of family stuff. So nothing I want to talk about on there.
Gotcha.
Fair. You can find me at Trovese's, TROVEEZUS. You can find the podcast at Sup Podcast NYC on all social media platforms. Link for the Discord is going to be in the description of this video or this audio. Let's keep it moving. Where do you want to take us, Chris?
No, because you know what? Lawrence actually brought up. I think we're going to walk into a weird conversation here because I also deleted the SNKRS app.
Oh.
So it's weird just because I didn't mention this to either of you. Lawrence, you didn't mention this to any of us. Luke is winning, so he's not going to delete it. But I think it's getting clear that like there's some frustration building with this app for real if we're deleting it.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a frustration because it's definitely like you get tired of, all right, here we go. Let's do the same song and dance every Saturday or Thursday or Friday. It's like every time you just know what the outcome is going to be. And then the only time I've hit on sneakers in the last like maybe 5-6 months was maybe like 5 months. I hit on the Air Force One snakes, but they were in such abundance that I was like, fuck that. I don't, and I just did it just to see, try my luck. And I think that's an honest problem when you're just like, all right, let me just get them or buy them. And I'm just, it's frustrating dealing with it.
Yeah. I literally never hit on anything that had any sort of hype on it. I only have one actual purchase from the SNKRS app, and it was my Jordan 33s that I bought because I liked the technology. That was like no one wanted them. I was the only nerd that wanted that shit. Literally every semi-hype, any shoe that had a post about them, I never got at all. And I tried, for most of them, at least early on. Now I'm like, clear I'm off it because I deleted it, but like just fucking Luke over here with 5 wins in 1 month.
Well, I think that's something that needs to be, it's something that's honestly needs to be addressed. And we've seen it obviously with the Ann Herbert stuff. And, and you start realizing that, it's like, it's not a good app in a sense. Cause then they're like, well, watch this or do this. And, like I said, I think the majority of my sneaker wins in the last like 2 years or maybe 3 years have been through other apps, through other stores. Like I always will shout out Premier Skate Shop. I will always shout out Nordstrom. Plug or not, I've won things without a plug. I've won things with the plug. Kith, and I, as people who hate Kith, I've hit on Kith. I've won some shit, but at the same time, when it comes to this particular app, it's embarrassing, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And you know what? As people that, like sort of submerged in this space, it is sort of like embarrassing to like be like not hitting on an app when you're like over 30. You know what I mean? When you're like, because every time I hit like submit whatever payment, I'm on the train or like whatever, going to work or something, and then I get the entry not selected. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I realize like, what am I doing? You guys also know that I usually have to get handed something in order to like get it. So like, why am I even chasing down this dumb, like when we had Fresco on, he sort of like joked around with maybe there's a winner's pool. I'm clearly not going to be in that pool. So why the fuck am I even trying? I guess that's where the embarrassing feeling comes from.
I will say this, and this is something that I think a lot of people will agree on in terms of sneakers. Like there's like, you have your little hot streaks, like, like Luke, you're on a hot streak. So it's like, 5 sneakers in a month or whatever. And I remember like, there were sneakers that I was hitting on, and I will say, I did hit some stuff, but when it comes down to the like truly like hyped stuff, like no way, like, you don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
So I think, once again, we get to that point where there's no stories behind a shoe anymore. It's just like, did you press, buy in time, and did you get selected? Yeah. And it's like, there's no like, and I know that's an old mentality of shit, but fuck that. I want the stories now.
Yeah. The storytelling around this shit is the reason why like the Bacons itself. Like Lawrence, you weren't with us when I was sort of telling the story of the Bacons, but that adds to the whole experience. You know what I mean? Like the CLOTs, those are also a re-release. So there's also historic value there that someone could have had to bring it forward to the shoe that's just released, right? Just hitting a button is like not fun. It's not cool. It's not an experience. There's nothing based around it except what do you got, Luke? You're over there like really holding back.
There's nothing really I can say here. I'm just, I win them. I get them. It's like,
So wait though, this is the sad part about this is like, all right, so when was that first shoe came out? That was 06?
CLOT, I think it was like 06 or 04, one of the two.
So all right, so we have like this crazy gap. Say for whatever reason, in the same gap, so 15 years later, whatever it is, Luke, you're like, oh shit, I can get them again. And then now you're thinking about, oh yeah, I just got them off the SNKRS app. There was no line experience. There was you didn't go to the store. You didn't get to see the meat hanging. You didn't get to see none of that. You just remember, I got lucky.
Yeah, but like, then you get lucky. And then that's like, the story becomes, you less focus on the story of how you got them and what you did in them.
That's an interesting way to look at it, because I think like all my sneakers prior to, and I always will say this, prior to maybe 2015, there was the story behind, like it was like, oh, I
Sure.
remember when I did this, and then now it's like like they're like I hit. What did I hit? I hit on the Sakai's the first black Sakai's, and I remember I got them off sneakers, but it was like, oh, okay, cool. And then, like you said, bro, it's like, okay, where did I wear these to now?
Yeah.
As opposed to the experience behind the shoe.
Sure. And I hear what you guys are saying. Taking away from that like retail experience of being a sneakerhead in the early like 2000s to now is just a very different experience. And it does take away from the experience of the, the younger market, right? They're never going to have that moment. They're never going to have that meeting a guy online and being like, oh, cool, you're here like every week. What's up? It's just not really going to happen anymore.
I remember I got to the point where I knew that it was just a completely different ball game. When I'm going to say maybe 2013, 14, I was at Mercer lining up. And I remember talking to a kid online. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, yo, you getting them for yourself? And he was like, nah, I'm just trying to flip. And that's when I started seeing like, like it was a different animal. I remember we did the, what do they call it? It was the sneaker with the flag on the back, the moon landings. And I remember dudes hung out all night, man. This is 2004, all fucking night. Dudes was, at Dover, like, what I'm saying? And the majority of these dudes, they did want them for the toe, but then there was the resellers, but it was still that experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas now a shoe like that comes out, it's like, did you hit on sneakers? Because them other websites, you know what I mean? Did you have a prayer with a raffle? It's a shit is whack, man.
Yeah, we're gonna sound like real old heads this episode, Elf.
I don't give a fuck, man. I like because I hear a lot of the fucking listeners, they'll message me and they say like they be like, I know you've been in the game for so long, and then they make me feel like I'm some fucking senior citizen. But I appreciate it because I have been. And then there's motherfuckers that's been in the game way longer than me. That what I mean.
Yep.
I'm in my 30s. Them dudes that's in their 40s and 50s, and they talking about they remember the first Jordan 1 and how it was $65. You hear that shit, you be like, dog, like get out of here, old nigga. Like that's how I be wanting to talk to them. But so it's a generation thing. Every generation different.
Speaking of differences, something in our Discord popped up, which we originally talked about this custom shoe that had Jesus holy water in it.
Oh yeah.
And now I don't even know how to describe this shit.
Turkey basting ass bitch.
Hey, I love my turkey basters. No, definitely go back to that episode where I don't remember what it was. Maybe we should post the clip on the this week on the show so they can see you guys just toasting me.
I'll repost that, baby. That
yeah, just ripping me apart. But anyway, so the guy who made those Jesus Air Max 97 customs with the holy water in them, he's doing another version with Lil Nas X, and it's Satan in blood.
It's the devil, guys. Oh.
You're also fired.
I'm also fired. Am I sharing the screen right now?
I don't know.
Who's sharing? You're sharing. Meany sharing. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Meany's hired again. Meany's hired again. But yeah, what do we have any thoughts on these? Like,
this is gross. All right.
But Luke, your name's on them.
My name is on them, Lawrence, on the side there. Luke 10:18, which is, the verse where he's all like, I saw the devil, blah, blah, blah. He looked like this. Lot of anti-Christ-like imagery. Do not like the flip, if I got to be honest with you. I was looking for a nice, wholesome Jesus shoe, and this guy gave me blood in the sole. And I'm not with that. I don't know about you guys, but if I wore this shoe, I'd be welcoming danger.
Yeah, I'm not with those shits, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm actually kind of fine with them. I don't need all the Satan imagery. Like, can I take off that pendant, or what is that called? The whatever, the pandemonium.
Yes, the pandemonium.
The pentagram. That's what it is.
Yes, there you go.
So, like, if you take all this shit off, I mean, I'll just tell everybody if they ask me what Luke that is, I'll say I have a podcast that I do with my friend Luke. But they're numbered. You know what's crazy is like the story here in the presentation is much better than most of the stories that are getting done with actual shoes now.
That's fair. I can see that. He said so. The other thing about these is that they're like $1,000.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Which is a lot of money to pay to once again besmirch my Lord and Savior.
What the first version, weren't they like 170 or something very reasonable?
No, they were pretty high up there too.
Oh, they were okay. I'm
remembering.
It's
about around the same price, but now the resale on those is crazy because Lil Nas X just gave a little bump to this guy.
Yeah, it's interesting that we're having a bunch of these, I guess I'll say celebrity figures sort of linking up with customizers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, people in a different tax bracket, they can pay for things and going, I don't need Nike. I'll just do it with this guy.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's always been, I mean, there's always been that market where you do see celebrities. Like I remember when Cameron and all those dudes, you know, dudes were getting the customized Air Force Ones and Fab, you know, Fab and Fabulous and the shit he was doing. I mean, some of that shit was, you know, we used to look at him and be like, this guy's wearing a lot of fakes, but customizers and rappers and entertainers have always been a thing. You know what I'm saying? I think now we just get to that point where Nike is allowing more artists and entertainers to do collaborations with the company. So, you know, back in the days, maybe where, you know, 15 years ago when a rapper got some bootleg Air Force Ones and now they allow the rapper to have their own actual design.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think I'm not like, you know, I'm not a big fan of customs. I've always been on the record saying that, you know, just something about it, but I can't knock the hustle. I can't knock anyone that has the customized sneaker.
For sure.
If you guys, so if somebody gave you a boatload of money and said, hey, we want you to, we're going to like team you up with our customizer. We're going to make you like a shoe of your dreams and we'll sell it to a bunch of people, but it'll look like a Nike shoe. It's not going to be like your own unique shoe. It'll be a Nike silhouette. You wouldn't do that?
You know, it's funny because I say this, oh, you know, I love Nike and I'm a Nike guy, but if I'm rich and like you said, and I'm getting that opportunity, I'm sure I'll be like, all right, fuck it, sign me up, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. That's true.
I can't really speak on that because I kind of do that.
What do you mean?
Like when I get to collaborate with some of the, you know, the footwear companies with A-Life, it's like I kind of do that.
Oh, in your own eyes, you're like just a customizer?
It's kind of. I mean, in the sense I'm designing. Customizing is still also design. There's, you know, it's not mutually exclusive where like if you're a customizer, you're not designing something. So I mean, like when I get to go, like, you know, when I make a call out that they wouldn't normally do, I'm customizing their silhouette. You know what I mean?
True.
So I guess I do that. It's similar in that the execution, but different where I'm getting permission and like they're allowing it, like in the people, like a room of people have a meeting about it and they see it and they go, okay, we could do this. So yeah.
See, you're winning in your own ways, Chris.
Hilarious.
To kind of change the subject, guys, we saw a tease of some Stingwater Nike SBs that I abhor. I think they're fucking terrible.
Yeah. So the thing with these is, I mean, Luke, I don't know if like you're the person to sort of go to with this because it's like, you know, you're still in the most of like skate out of me and L. I mean, but that's just a weird brand to do a dunk with.
Bro, I gotta be straight up with you. I just don't know Stingwater like that.
As far as I know, they're just like a really weird, expensive skate brand. I mean, I don't know if there was any story attached to it. I didn't see any story, editorial, or narrative being presented. I think these are just like leak photos or whatever. So we're back to like fucking talking about a shoe we don't know nothing about, but it's fine. Yeah, to me, it's just weird because they sell like $600 jackets and like $400 hats.
I'm in. I'm going to buy them.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to go on record of saying this, that 2021 for dunks are trash. Like, I feel like 2020 was like, it was so much better. And now to me, it was like actual like thought and effort behind a lot of their collabs in 2020. And then 2021 is just like, all right, so now they're fucking addicted. Let's just throw whatever their way and they're going to fucking go crazy for it. You know, Stingwaters, I like the carpets were okay to me. The Supremes were, you know, they were cool. I like them, but they're lazy. But, you know, I understand the historical significance behind it. Yeah. But like, if you look at like last year's joints, like Bear Bricks, you know, to Duncan's, Strange Love, Civilist,
Travis Scott,
Travis,
Doraemon's, bunch of
you know, Ben and Jerry's, like they're to me like
Grateful Deads.
Yeah, you know, we can talk about 2020 and be like, wow, that was like a sledgehammer of a year. And then when you get to 2021, it's like the residual hype that people are just like, I need a pair of SBs. And like I said, I haven't been excited for not many of these SBs, like, you know, like it just feels like they're just living off of 2020, and they did it smartly though. That's smart. That's super smart. Have everyone hyped, and then the collabs, like I said, aren't as to me innovative or creative as last year's.
Did you like the Street Hawkers? I think that might be the only one I liked this year so far.
Supreme, Street Hawkers, carpets were solid, but I didn't like, oh my God, I need the carpets. The Street Hawkers were the only ones that I was like, oh man, I can fucking, and obviously the Supremes. But like I said, I think every release last year, I was like, oh my God, the Habibis, those are, I forgot about that in 2020.
Yep.
Yeah, there were a lot of good shoes last year from the SB. I hear you. I feel like the executives were like, okay, well, you want SBs, right? So we'll just keep making SBs. We'll just keep making whatever shitty colorways and you'll buy it. Yeah.
You'll fucking lap it up. We can throw on these general release dunks, make them super limited because everyone is just insanely enamored with dunks. And like we said before, we getting the 50 Virgil shits. Like it's.
Yeah. What do you think of the Golfs? Did you guys see the Golf SBs? The Golf shoes?
Is that the racer ones?
Yeah. Those guys.
Oh, yeah, those are cool. But also, again, it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm. One of the listeners in our Discord, Brad, was really into those shoes until he saw them and became very disappointed.
Oh, rest in peace, Brad. He also left the Discord.
He left the Discord, Lawrence.
He'll be back.
He will be back, but man, all right, guys, just on a very separate kind of break the fourth wall thing here. If you aren't in our Discord, just come purely to hear what this kid says when he comes back, because we all call him Brad with the worst take, because honestly, it's the worst possible take you could have on any given topic.
Literally, he astounds you every time. You're like, there's no way this guy could think this many wrong things. And then he just keeps going. He just keeps being wrong.
I like Brad. I like all of our Discord listeners. They're all amazing people. They're all great. The listeners are great. You fucking Discorders are great. You people who message me are great. I love you all for real. Keep messaging me. If I don't respond, message me again. I'll remember and I'll respond back. You guys are fucking awesome.
Yeah. Including Brad.
We do like you, Brad. What do you call it? We got raided by the New Balance Discord too.
Yeah,
Alex's friends. They raided our server and showed us some love. So thank you to those guys. Shout out to you, New Balance boys. We'll cover more New Balance stuff in the future for you. Bape has a New Balance. What do we think? It's a Bape New Balance. Done.
Can I talk about something that's really grinding my gears right now? And I just saw the alert as we were recording. LaMarcus Aldridge signed with the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh.
So he was bought out by the San Antonio Spurs, and he was a free agent, and everyone was like, oh, he's gonna go to Miami, and he just signed with the Brooklyn Nets. And I am gonna say that this does not make any sense at this point.
What are they doing?
Dudes are like literally getting a fucking ring. They are like, we will do whatever it takes. We will sign for whatever because we want a championship ring, and they are going to get a championship ring. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
This is all to fight LeBron.
Yeah, all to fight LeBron James. Yes.
We're not a sports podcast, but I'm very interested in talking about this now. Literally insane that somehow Brooklyn became the hub of trying to defeat LeBron James, in that no one, not MJ, Kobe, whoever you want to talk about, no one had a conspiracy team put together to fight specifically that person.
Yeah, this is what this told. Chris, you just nailed it on the head.
Yeah,
that's insane to me.
Michael Jordan would be crying if something like this happened to Michael Jordan. He'd be crying tears of joy. He'd be like, "Finally, y'all got a brain and figured it out. It's gonna take all of you to beat me."
That's so wild.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Look for LeBron. Yo, he's like 34, and he's
36.
36.
And this is these dudes are fucking coming together to get a ring. Wow, good for Brooklyn.
That is literally insane. Luke, your Knicks, they stink.
Hold on. The Knicks don't stink. They're just not great. Right?
Okay, here, let's put it this way then. Brooklyn or Knicks?
What do you mean?
Where are you going?
I'm going to the Knicks.
Then you're going to lose. They're going to get a title. And then here you are asked out, just sad because your fucking team stinks when the other good team has all the players just to beat one player.
Nah, that's not the Knicks way, bro. We suck for years. We get hot for like 2 weeks. We all get super excited. We get high off of that. And then that feeds us for the next 5 years. You don't understand what it is to be a Knicks fan. You winning ass Boston fan. You don't know what it's like to lose all the time.
I'm happy for the Knicks this year. I'm also hoping that one day they eventually get a superstar guy, to come to them, kind of like a Kevin Durant or LeBron, who was always rumored to go to New York back in the days. Keeping this kind of on LeBron because, like you guys said, he's 36. He's still the best player in the NBA. He's out for a couple of weeks, but we're getting these LeBron watch sneakers. They come out, on the 23rd, I believe, of the month.
Oh, yep.
Mhm.
And also we were teased with some LeBron Laker color Air Max 95s.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, as a guy who loves Air Max 95s as well, I don't know if you saw all the colors that he teased on his social media, but some good colorways, man. They're all Laker themed colorways,
Which is a solid color scheme in general. So it's like, you can't really get mad with that. I wish it wasn't so exclusive to the West Coast, like, because you can't rock that anywhere here. And people think that like you live here for real, or like you're mentally here.
I disagree. There's so many Lakers fans. There's in New York. I mean, I'm wearing a Lakers t-shirt. I'm
that's
in
funny.
New York. I mean, once again, there's New York fans in LA. I think, once again,
well, not to cut you off, but the fan part is super important there, because like I can't wear that because I'm not a fan of the Lakers. Even the colorway itself and sort of implies that you like that team.
You can't wear yellow and gold.
That's what I was gonna say. You can wear whatever color. Yeah, purple and gold.
Those shades of that, you can wear purple and gold. Of course, I'm not saying you can't wear those colors, but what I am saying is that specific shade, which is a very specific shade of yellow, and a very not as specific shade of purple, but that yellow specifically, bro, you walk around with that, people are like, oh, he loves either Kobe, the Lakers, or he's from Cali. It puts you in a position. It's sort of like judging from afar, I guess, but like I'm not wrong when I say that. Like when you wear the team colors, people associate you with that team. It's just uniquely LA has such a colorway that no one really else uses like that. But say with like the Knicks, you also have the Mets, right? But it's still very New York. But it's not as extreme as what LA colors do for them. Boston is just green. So I can wear green no matter what and get away with it. No one will associate that, even though me as a Celtics fan, I am one, but no one will put me there. But I mean, do you guys see the difference in what the colorways does to a person is just so drastic.
I think you just gotta live a little and wear some purple and gold, bro.
Yeah, you do.
I think you just gotta get out there and wear some purple and gold.
Come to the dark side, baby.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I'm also hyper sensitive to like the colors and the shades of stuff.
Yeah, man. You grew up in Massachusetts. That's like the sports culture there's out through the roof.
Well, I'm not even saying on that. I'm just saying that like I know the Pantone numbers of certain things. You know what I mean? Like that's how hyper aware of the shades I am.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And what do you know? We were talking about it earlier in the year. Pantone color, yellow. It's full circle.
Oh shit.
Full circle. We're good at this podcast, guys.
I mean, do we want to discuss Chinatown Market? Maybe we can be light about it.
We could just be quick about it, I guess. So give us, what do you think?
The background on it? Okay, yeah. So basically, we have the current climate outside is to stop Asian hate. There's been a lot of unnecessary wrongdoing to that community. I mean, amongst all the other things that are going on, right? But the one trending right now is stop Asian hate. So Chinatown Market being owned by a white guy who's not even in New York. He's from LA. I guess I found out earlier off mic that he's from Westchester, so I guess he has some New York in him, but he lives in LA right now. He has a whole brand based off Canal Street in New York City. A lot of people are calling, at least with my algorithm, are calling to have him rebrand the clothing and not say Chinatown Market, just because it's appropriating that culture.
Mm-hmm.
Which arguments could be made about that, because Chinatown Market is all, like, the idea of it is to create designer bootlegs, I guess. It's just a weird sort of thing to try to describe, because like Canal Street itself is full of bootlegs of other companies, right? It's like, making fake shit of brands that we all want to buy, right? So some guy coming in is going, I'm going to bootleg the bootleg. Mm-hmm. So it's like sort of a double entendre, but then sell it for like not designer prices, but sort of high price. Like they're not cheap.
And then the other argument is that they do say it's like it promotes the bootleg culture of like of that Chinatown area, but like it doesn't do anything to kind of open the door to to the rest of the culture. It just really focuses on the bootleg part, which is what a lot of Asians have a problem with. It's like,
I think generally that's looked at as a negative stereotype amongst the Asian community, because you guys always, being the source of a lot of the creation, the production, a lot of this stuff, you know what I mean? It gets looked at in a bad light.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on this podcast saying like I'm not really with this brand necessarily, just off the strength of the designs themselves, like it's designer clip art to me. I think that's maybe a harsh critique now because he's been able to expand and he sort of like can tell his own story, but it's still based around this flub of like, oh, I'm just going to like make real bootlegs, which still is a weird sentence to me because, you know, this is a conversation we've sort of had from every angle. It's like this, maybe in the past year and a half, especially when Warren Lotus sort of like took off, but like, it's probably not smart to like be appropriating with that name like that. I mean, Luke, you're really the only person that can speak to this with a true heart. Me being like the honky on this podcast, I really can't say shit about dick. You know what I mean? So
I mean, yeah, everybody's entitled to their own opinion about it, right? Everybody.
Yeah.
I want to hear everybody's opinion. Like, Lawrence, do you have any opinions on it?
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the whole appropriation, the whole, you know, this whole situation with Chinatown. So, and I'm not really the biggest fan of that brand anyway. So I'm kind of with Chris on this a little bit. Yeah, that's, you know, that's how I'm feeling right now. But yeah, what are you thinking about that?
I mean, obviously, it's not, you know, I'm not crazy about it either. I'm kind of glad that we're having this conversation about it. A lot of my friends don't like the brand, so they don't purchase from it. I don't either. So that's just kind of the end of it for me. I'm going to give you both 2 Asian points for handling that situation very well.
Hell yeah, dude.
Cash those in anywhere you'd like.
I mean, the only person we got to worry about handling it incorrectly is Chris. I'm pretty good at this. So I was listening to Chris word for word, and I was like, "Don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up." Didn't fuck up. Good. Don't say another word about this, Chris. Thank God. All right,
man. Yeah, Chris, you handled that very well. Lawrence, I expected
Thank you
from you. So that's why you got 2 points. He got 2 points. Congratulations, guys.
There we go.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there is much of a brand if he does rename it though, because then the story is gone, which might be a separate conversation. But yeah, I think, you know, he's just really got to change it, and that's that. I mean, this is not, you can't get away with stuff like this anymore.
Is it? I think it's like, it's the biggest thing is like, you look at it and it's like, it doesn't do anything positive for culture, and the fact that it just goes into a white guy's pockets just doesn't really help either.
It doesn't sit well. Yeah,
that's like sit well, you know.
That's like if, you know, like you said, if it was like FUBU or like a black guy clothing, and it was like, oh, it's going to a white dude, like, you know what I mean? It's like a white dude creating it. It's like, it definitely has that, you know, like, all right, come on, man, like, let's, you know, it's very inauthentic and it's very appropriating of our cultures, and let's do better.
Yeah. I don't know what I feel like. You know what? To this guy, I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna give him an olive branch right now. I'm gonna bring a list of names that he can use next week from me. I'll let him have some of my ideas for new names for Chinatown Market.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw some names out at the dartboard. We're gonna give, what's his name? Is it Sean? I want to say Sean. Is his name Sean?
Basically, just say any white name. It's fine. Sean's good.
Sean, okay. Sean, I'm going to call you Sean. I don't know your name, Mr. Chinatown Market guy, but I'm going to call you Sean because
there we go.
That's what you did.
It's actually Michael, but it's the same but different.
It's
Mike and Sean, or even Chris. I'm in here. Matt, you know.
There you go.
And yeah, I guess we can wrap that up there. I think that's a great place to tie it off. Why don't we just go a round of plugs again? Happy birthday again, LZD325.
Thank you.
Trovese, you know, Jesus, Passover. Oh yeah, Meany's throwing notes at us. Yes, and also, you know, happy Passover to all our Jewish listeners. Jewish community here is strong. And I'm at Not That Cheney, CHENEY, Discord, Instagram, email. All that is on the Instagram at SupPodcast NYC. Just go there. And also 3 Meany, our producer.
Lawrence, you just started a new podcast recently. Can you tell me about that?
It's called I Hate This Job, and actually I do hate my job. So there you go.
Very good episode last week with Karen. Very funny.
I love Karen Feehan. She's amazing.
Yeah. Everybody check that out as well when you got some extra time. It's a good podcast, I promise.
And that's it, you jabronis. See you next week.
Peace.
Be safe.